By now, you've probably heard about dividends and passive income, and it got you thinking how you could just earn money by doing absolutely nothing. Sounds amazing, right? Some people think that you could just do nothing for the rest of your life and get paid for it. Theoretically, this is true, but it would take an insane amount of money for you to get to that point. And if you already have enough money to have a multi-million-dollar portfolio, you might as well pursue other things. Okay, so what exactly are dividends? A dividend is a sum of money paid regularly to its shareholders out of their profit. In other words, you buy a share of a company that does pay a dividend, and then that company will give you a small percentage of your investment. It's basically free money. Now, why do they do this? It's a reward for holding their shares, kind of like loyalty stamp cards for restaurants. So now that you know what a dividend is, how do they work? You get paid a percentage of your total investment. This percentage is called the dividend yield. Now, let's say that company X is listed in the market for $100 per share, and they have a dividend yield of 1%. That means that if you buy one share for $100, each year you're going to get 1% back of that $100. In other words, you'll get $1 back. It's not a lot, but it's free money for doing absolutely nothing. If the share price increases to $110, you're going to get $1.10. If it goes down to $90, you're going to get 90 cents. The average dividend yield that you're going to see is between 1 and 5%. This is a very normal number. However, some companies will be listed with an outrageous number like 15% dividend yield. That's an immediate red flag. It's very important to remember that dividends are just a bonus. They're just a little cherry on top. It's not what you should focus on. You know, when you go buy a car, for example, and they give you a free keychain or a free t-shirt, that's just a little bonus. You're not going to go buy a car just for a t-shirt or a keychain, are you? So remember that dividends are just a bonus. It's nice to have, absolutely. There are many companies that offer very good dividends and that have a very solid reputation of paying dividends, but it's not what you should focus on. So now let's focus on the part that you really want to hear about, passive income. You know, the lovely idea of just sitting at home, doing nothing, and just watching the money roll in. Is it really possible? And more importantly, is it worth it? To answer the first question, is it possible? And the short answer is yes, it is. But is it enough to live off of? Well, if you live in a small town in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of roommates and you eat ramen every day and you don't have any bills, then yeah, it might be possible. But who wants to live that lifestyle? And even then, you would need a really large portfolio, something above 6 figures. And if you can afford a portfolio that big, you can definitely afford a lifestyle that's a lot better than just eating ramen every day, living with 5 dudes in a 1-bedroom apartment. Which leads me to the second question. Is it worth it? No. It's just like dividends. It's a bonus. It's the cherry on top. But it's not worth it. And I'm going to give you several reasons of why it's not. Number one is you already get a small amount of money back with dividends. I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning, you definitely need something in the millions to afford a comfortable lifestyle just based off dividends. But then again, if you get to the $1 million mark, at least you can definitely afford something a lot better. Number two, dividends are not guaranteed to last forever. Company might go through some rough times and cut a big percentage or cut the dividends entirely, kind of like what happened with Boeing this year. And lastly, number 3, taxes. Dividends are considered long-term capital gains and taxed as so. The amount on which you're taxed for will depend on your own tax bracket and how long you've held the shares for. Typically, it's a flat rate of 15%. If you earn more than a certain amount per year, might go up to 20%. Again, it really depends on your own tax bracket, and it depends if you've held the shares for more or less than a year. So to end the video, what should you do with your dividends? That's going to depend on your goals and what you want to achieve with your investments in your portfolio. Whenever I buy shares, I always select the option to reinvest dividends because I just see it as a bonus and I just want to reinvest the dividends. It's just a little more money that I can keep funneling into my shares. Doesn't mean you need to do that, it's just what I do. Just please remember that living off of dividends and trying to focus on that is not a viable option. Always do your research. Thank you for watching and happy investing.